funeral director today. Actually, don't tell me. Let me guess. From the looks on your faces, you've got some questions for me.
Guilty as charged. So, we were just a little curious about Baiju's master. What was he like? Oh, and also, how come you and Baiju could tell so quickly that Jia Liang had god remains in his system?
Huh? I thought I told you once before. Wangsheng Funeral Parlor was first founded to fight back against the vengeful wrath of gods defeated in war. Well, it is a dusty old tale by this point. Long story short, in the ancient world, dead gods were acting up, so our ancestors started purifying the air and burning the bodies of the deceased to guard the border between life and death. These days, we don't deal with the wrath of the gods anymore, but all the relevant know-how is still passed down to each generation, so we can identify gods' remains when we see them.
Okay, Paimon gets it now. Wait, so how did Baiju learn to spot them?
Almost certainly from his master, who was also my great-uncle. Baiju's master was my grandpa's younger brother, a former deputy director of Wangsheng Funeral Parlor.
Wow, fancy that! Huh. So, if he was from Wangsheng Funeral Parlor, how did he end up as Baiju's master?
According to my grandpa, he and my great-uncle once went traveling together when they were young. They ended up at Chenyu Vale, where they met a pharmacist. That pharmacist must have cast some sort of spell on my great-uncle, because after that encounter, he suddenly announced he wanted to leave the family business and go practice medicine instead. My grandpa had a huge argument with him, but he couldn't convince him to stay. So my grandpa inherited the funeral parlor, while my great-uncle stayed in Chenyu Vale to practice medicine. They never spoke to each other again.
Funeral director to doctor is a pretty big career change. Kinda hard to imagine. But why did it drive a wedge between them for the rest of their lives? That seems a bit extreme.
If he had just become a regular doctor, there would have been no issue. After all, the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor wasn't unlike a regular doctor's clinic in the early days. But according to my grandpa, the pharmacist they met had a very ominous aura about him. And on top of that, the kind of medicine practiced in the Chenyu Vale tradition goes against the natural order of things.
In what way?
Don't know. My grandpa didn't know the specifics, and you've seen how wary Baiju is around me. He'd never tell me anything. But even that says to me that he definitely has something to hide. One thing I do know about Baiju is that he's obsessed with the idea of immortality, but whether that has anything to do with what he's hiding is hard to say. Anyway, so I will be sticking around here for now to keep a close eye on the situation. Maybe tomorrow I'll finally figure out what he's up to.
After all that, it seems like we have more questions than answers. Never mind. We'll just have to ask Baiju himself about all of this tomorrow.
Oh, while you're here, have either of you seen Chi-Chi around? It's not every day I get to infiltrate Baiju's lair, but alas, I didn't catch a single glimpse of her anywhere. Aha! What if Baiju knew I'd be on the lookout for her, and...
It's a new day! Let's go back to Boo Boo Pharmacy and check out how Jia Liang is doing.
Dad!
Oh, are you?
Dad, you remember me!
Yes, I remember now. Oh, are you? I'm so sorry. You must have been worried sick. Has your mom shown up yet? She's been gone for a while, hasn't she?
Don't worry, Dad. I got the Adventurers Guild to help us look for her. And Dr. Baiju's gonna help too. Right now, all you need to do is concentrate on getting better.
Great. That's wonderful. I can't thank you enough, Dr. Baiju.
My pleasure, really. It's the least I can do to honor my late master's dying wish. If anything, I should be apologizing to you for not making the time to visit in all these years.
Not at all, Dr. Baiju. It's only because Jiang Li... What was her reason again?
You're still in the early stages of recovery, so you'll need to take it easy for a while. Take it slowly and try not to overexert yourself.
I suggest you stay at Boo Boo Pharmacy and rest for at least the next few days.
Director Hu, do you have any further reservations about Jia Liang's condition?
It seems like the evil presence is gone after all. You really did manage to suppress it, huh? But how did you accomplish this in a single night?
That would be a trade secret, I'm afraid. If that gives you any cause for concern, you may continue to monitor Jia Liang for as long as you wish. Though I regret to say that Boo Boo Pharmacy cannot offer to reimburse Wang Sheng Funeral Parlor for any revenue lost in the meantime.
Oh, come on, Baiju. I'm not that unreasonable.
I've been stuck indoors for too long. Baiju, take me outside for some air, or I'm going to suffocate.
Yes, of course. Everyone, please excuse Changsheng and myself for a moment.
Suffering now, are we? Did you seriously expect to cover it up just by putting on a brave face and ignoring it? If it weren't for my quick thinking, they'd have all seen the sorry state you're in by now. But in any case, why must you keep this a secret from everybody? You should at least share your secret with one person you trust.
Who's there? Why did you follow us here? Oh, it's nothing. I just needed to get some air.
What did I just say about putting on a brave face? Traveler, Paimon, the truth is, Baiju did not cure Jia Liang's illness. Instead, he transferred some of his own life force to his patient to temporarily subdue the poison in his system. Baiju, can you please explain all of this?
My predecessors in medicine forged a contract with Changsheng. Every successor to this contract is able to use Changsheng's secret art to treat patients. I believe the irregularities with Jia Liang's heart meridian were likely caused by a poison concocted using god remains as a key ingredient. The poison has not been purged from Jia Liang's system. Rather, I infused him with some of my own life force, using Changsheng as the delivery medium. This will suppress the poison's effects for a limited time.
Changsheng? You can do that? Huh. Paimon always thought you were just Baiju's strange choice of a necklace.
Hey, I'll have you know that I commanded the respect of even the Adepti back in Chenyu Vale. If anything, he is my mannequin. I was treating patients with Baiju's master's master long before he ever set eyes on his first medical text.
Whoa. Guess you shouldn't judge a snake by its skin.
Please, that's enough.
Wait a sec. Huto was saying that the branch of medicine you studied uses some pretty dubious methods. So, when you transfer your life force, does that mean you're actually damaging your own body?
Hardly. Changsheng helps to keep my chi in balance, so there is no great harm done.
Still, Baiju's life force is not unlimited. We must find a way to neutralize the poison in Jialiang's body, and soon. Traveler, Paimon, would you lend this dummy a hand? He needs someone checking up on him, or he'll exhaust himself trying to accomplish everything on his own. Baiju, don't you think you should seize this opportunity? You cannot expect to hide this from everyone for your entire life. Time will see that all secrets surface eventually.
Entire life. Thank you, Traveler and Paimon.
Huh. Paimon doesn't think we've seen this side of you. But there's no need to thank us. You've helped us out before.
The poison in Jialiang's system must have accumulated over a prolonged period. I think I should pay a visit to their family home and look for clues as to how he might have been exposed to it. Yes, I asked Ayu this morning before you arrived. He told me that his family lived. Let's head there together once I've asked Gui and Chi-Chi to look at. As well as investigating Jialiang's exposure to the poison, we should also keep an eye out for Ayu's missing mother, my fellow disciple, Jiangli.
She's finally gone. She's gone for good now, right? Right?
Are you heading out now, Dr. Baiju?
Yes. While I'm gone, I leave Boo Boo Pharmacy in your and Chi-Chi's capable hands.
Rest assured, the moment anything comes up that you should know about, I'll inform you immediately.
In the mortal world at times like these, is it not customary to use an umbrella?
Whoa. There's a house all the way out here.
Nor have I. And I've hosted clinics at Qingsa Village many times in the past. If you ask me, Jiangli was trying to remain unnoticed.
Oh, that reminds Paimon. We meant to ask earlier, but it slipped our minds in the rush to get here. Could you tell us more about Jiangli? You said she was your fellow disciple, right?
She was indeed. We studied medicine together under the same master near Chenyu Vale. She is several years older than I and also began her travels far earlier than me. As a result, the time I spent studying alongside her was rather short.
Supposedly, she met an herb gatherer sometime during her trip.
Wait, Changsheng, are you saying neither of you had actually...
Jiang Li did occasionally come back to Chenyu Vale to see our master, but for whatever reason, she hardly ever talked about her family. The last time she visited us, she and master had some sort of quarrel. We never heard from her after that.
Quarrel? What happened?
I don't know. I did not witness the argument myself.
Nor did master ever explain it to me. All he would say is that should I ever encounter Jiang...
Oh, so that's why you went to such extreme...
No. Even if my master had never said anything, it would...
Paimon never knew you were so selfless, Baizhu. Paimon always had you down as the sneaky, scheming type. Sorry.
So a few words from me is enough to dispel all your suspicions, You ought not be quite so quick to relax your guard, Paimon. Sometimes even the good guys have their own private agenda.
What the... Okay, that was the most suspicious-sounding thing you've ever said.
Let's leave the idle chatter there for now, Jiang Li has lived in this house for many years. There must be something here that can shed a little light on this whole situation. Let's split up.
Traveler, Paimon, come quick!
Changsheng and I found a hidden compartment.
You sense it too?
Is it breathing? Paimon...
No, your eyes do not deceive you. Some toxins act a lot like living organisms. I read about this once if it's a concoction of this kind we're dealing with, then both the poison in Jialiang's system and this one here...
Offshoots? So, the main body is somewhere else?
Correct. Whoever is administering the poison can manipulate the source to indirectly control the poisoned individual's behavior and even cognition.
The call of the... Wait. So back when Jialiang ran off, maybe that explains what...
Only one thing could have been drawing him there. The source of...
This is getting crazier and crazier. Hey, why has everyone gone quiet all of a sudden?
Since this poison was carefully hidden away in a secret compartment, the one who concocted it is likely a resident of the house.
You mean Jialiang? Why would he poison himself?
Think a little harder, Paimon. Someone else who lives here, and who might have expertise in crafting drugs.
Huh? So you're saying... it was Jiang Li? Wait, but that doesn't make any sense either! Why would she poison her own husband?
I agree. It makes little sense. Jiang Li does not strike me as the kind of person who would do such a thing.
Look at the facts, though. How many people in the entirety of Liyue have the ability to concoct a poison from god remains?
It's too early to draw any conclusions. We should question Jia Liang about it once he has made more progress in his recovery. Yes, According to the origins and symptoms of diseases, the minor loads will disappear if the mother lode. So if we can find and destroy the source of these god remains, the poison will. Do you know anything about god remains in Chingsa village?
Even the history books have no record of this.
Didn't you used to be on good terms with the Adepti, though?
Well,
Changsheng's memories and powers are not what they were in her prime. These days, she has to enter a contract with a mortal and share their life force just to sustain her own life. I fear that such ancient events are long gone from her memory by now.
Whoa, what? Enter a contract? Share life force? Sounds like some pretty spooky sorcery if you ask Paimon.
hey, plenty of people would jump at the chance to join forces with a powerful being like me. With my assistance in rebalancing your chi, not only can you extend your lifespan, but you will also be stronger, healthier, and able to eat whatever you like with no risk of upsetting your stomach.
Stronger and healthier? Baiju, maybe when you retire, you can let...
Unfortunately, Changsheng's contract has strict requirements regarding the host's temperament. None of her hosts have ever been exempted from these rules. I fear that I will be unable to accommodate your wishes, Paimon.
Temperament? Hey! Ugh, Paimon's mad! You're getting ugly!
This is exactly why your natural temperament makes...
All right, everybody, calm down. Back to the matter.
With how antisocial they are? If it were up to them... What?
Seems you're as well connected.
Oh, if you're talking about who Paimon thinks you're talking about, you better do the honors.
You called?
Gets Paimon every time.
Are all Adepti in the habit of materializing out of thin air like this?
Well, this is unexpected.
Huh? It's you.
Baiju of Boo Boo Pharmacy. I do believe I've had the pleasure before. The Lantern Rite, when we met briefly, I was unaware of your true identity. I must apologize for the discourtesy.
Huh? You two already know each other?
Our paths have crossed once before. I sense the presence of evil spirits. Is this why you called me? So somewhat too often, fervent desires drive mortals to abandon all regard for their... I now know what you seek. It is true that a vile monster known as the Ch once wrought havoc over this land, before it was subdued by Rex Lapis. The land was finally cleansed of poison when Rex Lapis used statues in his likeness to seal the serpent's remains. Chingsa village was founded some time after that. The seal is still mostly intact. If the Ch is the source, then it must be some of its blood leaking from deep underground. However, its aura is faint and barely detectable. You will need to investigate further to identify the location of the leak. I do not like to intervene against mortals unless absolutely necessary. But when demonic forces are involved, things can spiral out of control. If that happens, be sure to call my name again. Nothing. I do not wish to sway decisions that are mortals to make, but immortality may not be the blessing that you imagine it to be.
I shall treasure your words of instruction, Master Adeptus.
Farewell.
What a strange Adeptus. Rather different from the way I remember them.
That's Xiao for ya! And thanks to him...
If the god remains are leaking from underground, Jiangli must be paying a visit.
Master! There...
Gui? Did you run all the way from Boo Boo Pharmacy?
What happened? Don't panic.
It's Jiaoliang. He was fine one minute, and then he suddenly took a turn for the worse.
Already? Based on past experience,
It seems that my worst. Everyone, back to.
Dad, what's wrong? Dad?
Don't be scared. Dr. Baishu will be back soon.
How is he doing?
Dr. Baishu, you're back! My dad was doing fine earlier.
When Gui left, he was still
Gui, please take Jiaoliang to the back room and prepare for.
Yes, of course.
Don't worry, Ayu. I will cure your father.
Baishu's not gonna use Changsheng's secret art again, is he?
Oh, please don't worry.
But
Is there really no other way to save Jiaoliang?
how are you feeling, Dad? Are you still hurting anywhere?
Much better, Ayu. I'm feeling much better. Wait.
Master said he needed to take a quick rest and asked me to bring you out of the treatment room. He hasn't emerged yet, so he must still be resting.
Oh, really? Well, he must be tired from treating me for 2 nights in a row. I don't know how I can begin to repay him for...
No, the Adventurers Guild has...
I'll come with...
Don't forget what Master said. You're still not out of the...
Though, on the bright side, this means I can thank Dr. Baiju and...
Traveler, Baiju hasn't shown his face ever since he went into Huh? Hey, wait up!
you're finally awake? That was far
There was no time. I had no other choice. In any case, it was... Jiang Li's design is quite brilliant. She makes numerous innovations that I can learn from.
So, how much longer do you think Baiju's gonna nap for?
They've been outside waiting for you the whole time.
Surely he hasn't.
Who's talking behind our backs again?
Ah! Baizhu! Changsheng!
Of course. There's no need to be concerned. I merely had to transfer a rather large amount of life.
Jialiang seemed fine yesterday.
I made an error in my initial diagnosis. And as a result, his life force depleted.
What? You mean...
Yes. But more pertinently, the poison in Jialiang's... Jialiang has a rare congenital heart condition, and ongoing treatment is essential to maintaining healthy functioning of his heart meridian. Left untreated, it puts the... Though it was created from god remains, this formula is...
Had he not taken it all these years, he likely...
Still, using poison to treat a disease is hardly a viable long-term solution. Moreover, the longer he relied upon this medicine, the more resistant his body became.
That explains why Ayu said his dad has been getting worse. And why...
God remains are extremely dangerous to be around, because humans have no natural defense against them. I fear that the situation is just as that Adeptus described. In an effort to save Jialiang...
I never suspected that even Zhang Li would turn to the same path as so many others over the... To sacrifice one's own life to save others. To go beyond human means.
Well, I think that it's too early to say with any certainty what... In any case, I have stabilized Jialiang's condition for now, so her regular exposure to God, and given that she's already been missing for several days, I am fearing the worst.
It's me, Traveler, Dr. Baizhu.
It's Jialiang!
Dr. Baizhu, you've already done so much for my family. I can know... After all, if it wasn't for me, she wouldn't have had to put herself in harm's way in the first place. I'm sure I'll be able to remember. I know there's a spot where she says goodbye to me every time she goes to gather her herbs.
Be careful. If you get too agitated...
No! Before I forget everything...
This trip will be extremely...
I never expected to live this long. There's only one thing I fear now, and that's that I'll...
Very well. Then
Dr. Baizhu, are you heading out again?
Yes. This could be a long one. Could you please prepare a dose of the usual formula? Please add an extra measure of mistgrass pollen, and 1 dose each of the ingredients from the 3rd and 5th compartments of my medicine cabinet. Hop to it now. And remember to be careful with the cauldron this time. You don't want to burn yourself again.
Okay. Everyone...
It's just like the day I went missing. It's as if
The Mother Lode's influence is growing stronger. But is it because we're getting closer to the source? Jialiang, can you sense which direction the source is in?
I think it's this way. Yes, I'm sure of it. I feel a dull ache in my heart. This must be the way. This place feels familiar. I think I've been here before.
There is an...
I think I remember this place.
Jialiang, are you okay?
No, I have to keep going.
Let's make haste.
The digging marks here appear amateur.
A thieves' tunnel?
Judging by the tools they left behind. But why did they abandon this place without even...
I remember now. But she said that the
Easy, Jialiang. A bitter pill to swallow.
The doctor was seen.
Busted! Don't waste my time.
Yeah.
Whoa, there's a sensor here. Those treasure hoarders sure made themselves at home.
I believe this sensor was used to burn a monster-repelling incense.
A monster repelling incense?
The incense was burned several days ago. If I had to guess, the monster... No doubt an encounter with the... After them, Jiang Li was the next person to...
That's right. This sensor. This is where I told Young Li to give me the poison.
Jialiang!
I'm fine. Let's keep going. I can feel it. I can feel it. We're getting close. We're almost there. It's right up ahead. The place where we made a pact together to...
Aha! We can keep going now!
From the looks of it, the energy released by this mechanism can not only clear barriers, but also be conducted by corresponding mechanisms. Perhaps it's something we can make use of.
Doesn't see any barrier-breaking mechanisms around here.
There are tracks here, and it looks like they're connected to something. Shall we follow it and see where it takes us?
A bitter pill to swallow. Remember, health comes first.
Ready, go! The Temple of Wisdom!
Gotcha. Things are about to get dicey.
Mind the side effect. Taking a turn for the better.
Submit!
Quietly now.
Mind the side effects. A bitter pill to swallow.
It's nothing. Give up. Your life is mine.
Jiangli!
Look out! There's a monster next to her!
The god remains must have lured them here. Watch my back.
Gotcha!
A bitter pill to swallow. Remember, health comes first.
It's nothing! Here comes the catch.
Stay put!
The doctor was
Taking a turn for the better. Mind the side effects.
Don't waste my time. Submit! Ugh.
Dr. Baiju, how serious is it?
I can still feel a pulse, but her condition is quite grave. The god remains here are encroaching on her cognition. If we don't eliminate it soon, then even if we save...
Then what are we waiting for?
It's not as simple as that. Don't you remember what Baiju... The poison within Jialiang's body is... If the source is purged...
Oh no.
Indeed. If the god remains here are...
I wondered when this...
Wait! But we've all been working our butts off, Baiju. You're a great doctor.
You could continue to take the poison, which would buy you some time. As for Jiangli, maybe if we put our head...
It appears to me that she was striving to concoct your medicine for you. Right up until the moment when she lost consciousness.
Dr. Baiju, give it to me straight.
The god remains have reached her and...
But what would... Dr. Baiju, I'm all too aware of the dangers of god remains. You were not the first to mention it to me. If I continue to sustain my own life using this wretched substance, I know for a fact that I should have died over a decade. If my choice can bring Jiangli back...
Jialiang.
After cheating death for... Traveler, Dr. Baiju, could...
Of course.
Thank you, everyone. And I'm sorry that...
Jialiang.
I am sure that over the years, Jiangli will have...
Mortals are fated to grow old and pass on when their natural lifespan runs out. If it were so easy to combat the natural processes of aging and death...
What a crazy situation. Jiangli risked it all to save Jialiang's life. And now, Jialiang...
I've seen many final farewells in my time, but I can never get used to it.
In the human realm, all things must come to an end. Is it not a fitting end to... At least, that's what generations of masters before you have always believed.
The path they chose was indeed a heroic one. But when I think of those who would willingly sacrifice themselves for others, I cannot help but think that theirs are...
When all this began, we agreed that once Ayu was old enough to help you gather herb. If you could only see him now. So... I've said my goodbyes.
As you wish.
It will eat away at both your cognition and your memories.
I'll take it. At the very least.
Mom, something's real. Don't.
Why would these memories come to mind now. The longer we live... Oh, how I would love to hear...
Jialiang! Jialiang! Jialiang!
Dad!
Didn't I... Huh? What are these?
How does it feel to come back to life?
Do you feel strange or different in any way? If so, could you describe it to me in...
Dr. Baizhu...
Die? You did indeed. As things stand now, you're more akin to a zombie than a human.
I'm a zombie?
That's right. Before we set off, I asked Chi-Chi to prepare an elixir of immortality. With its help, you have been suspended in the space between life and death. Of course, this is but a crude imitation of an Adeptus art. I don't expect it to extend your life indefinitely. Whether it will keep you alive for a few days, a few months, or a few years, I am as interested as you to find out. But, however long you have left, I believe it should be more than sufficient time for you to say your final goodbyes before departing the world in peace. I hope that Director Hu finds this arrangement to be a satisfactory one.
An elixir of immortality? How'd you cook that up? Ugh. Leave it to you to work on something like that behind my back.
It's a work in progress that hardly lives up to its name, and it would have had no effect were it not for Jialiang's iron will. In the end, I am merely a doctor. I understand very little of the great principles governing life and death and the perpetual cycle of yin and yang. All I know is that if I'm presented with a life that deserves to be saved, I will do everything in my power to save them. And even this would have counted for nothing without Director Hu's assistance. After all, did you not tell Jialiang to show us the way before we set off for Qingsa village?
Oops, and I'm busted.
Without Director Hu nudging things in the right direction, we may not have found Jiangli in time.
No wonder he didn't mention the elixir back then. I thought he was being frank and transparent with me for once, but apparently not.
Director Hu told me to keep her suggestion.
Never underestimate a serpent's sense of smell.
All I wanted was to help Jialiang find his missing wife as soon as possible, so that he could be on his way to the afterlife without any unfulfilled wishes making the journey more difficult than it needs to be. Leave it to Boo Boo Pharmacy to snatch the perfect opportunity right out of my hands at the last hurdle. Never mind. I'll just have to put it down in the books as a deferred consideration. One Chi-Chi was enough of a conundrum. The last thing I need's another one. If I'd known this was coming, I'd have whisked him off to the Wangsheng funeral parlor the moment I found him.
You stay away from my dad! When I grow up, I'm gonna become an even better doctor.
Oh, is that right? Well, you wouldn't be the first person who's tried to put Wangsheng funeral parlor out of business. If you're serious... Traveler, Paimon, I'll catch you all another...
All's well that ends well. If you ask Paimon, we should probably do something at times like this.
It feels like it was a whole lifetime ago when I last talked with Zhongli and Ayu around the dinner table.
Yay, Paimon! All right, first things...
Wait up! I'll come too!
Baizhu, thank you.
Don't mention it, Jiangli.
Just your duty, huh? Baizhu, Changsheng.
Now that you are part zombie, there are some rules that you need to know.
Yes, ma'am. I'm listening.
First, don't forget to stretch your body regularly. Second, don't forget to...
Yes? Go on. Don't forget to...
I forgot.